Hi, my name is Tara Bentley, and I'm the Executive Director for the Indiana Association of Home Educators, also known as the IAHE. I'm also the mother of two homeschool graduates. We started homeschooling many years ago, and I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of what you need to know to get started in home education in Indiana in about 10 minutes. The Indiana Association of Home Educators was founded in 1983. And across the country, we saw many state organizations pop up around the same time. 1983 is the year that a lot of people would refer to as the birthplace of the modern home education movement. Our organization is a nonprofit which was founded to support and encourage families interested in home education. And we have 17 regional reps across the state available to help answer questions about getting started with homeschooling, help find local resources for you, and they are available to help answer your questions all year long. So a little bit about me. I do live in Southeast Indiana, what you see there on the map as Region 14. And when we first started homeschooling back in 2001, our daughter had been in the public school system in 6th grade, and we started looking for options since we didn't like a lot of what we were seeing locally in our middle school and high school. So in 2001, we made the decision to pull her out of the public school, and we jumped in. I'm very grateful that at that time, I found our organization, the IAHE, and was able to reach out to them and get my questions answered on how to get started. We are a Christian organization, but we do serve all homeschool families. So what that means is what you're going to see from us is pretty much Christian content and a lot of Christian encouragement. However, no matter who you are or the reasons that you are homeschooling, we're here to help you. We're here to help answer your questions. We are your voice for homeschooling in Indiana. We are the ones at the State House. We work with our legislators to make sure that Indiana remains a great place to homeschool. So what is homeschooling? So here in Indiana, we have our guidelines for what homeschooling looks like. It is based on Indiana law, and it is education that is parent-directed, home-based, and privately funded. And homeschooling is not the same thing as school at home. So I'm recording this message in March of 2020, and we know that right now across the country, families are stuck doing school at home. But the location of where you are doesn't really define the term of homeschooling. So it's a little confusing today, or in our world, I would say, but we have families that are still enrolled in the public school. They're still using public school curriculum. And basically their resources are still coming from their tax dollars, and that makes it public education regardless of where they are located. So this is because in Indiana code, we are classified as a homeschool as being non-public. So even if we were not all quarantine schooling like we are at the moment, there are virtual school at home programs that do take place for families. They can do them in the home, but they're still public school, and by definition, they're not homeschools. So what does Indiana law require for my homeschool? We have compulsory school age laws and require that children are in school from the time they turn 7 to 17. We are required to do 180 days of education. And the law doesn't actually say 180 days. And this is especially important, again, March of 2020. We know that right now in our world and in our state, these attendance laws are in flux with everything. And so right now, as our public schools were granted attendance waivers, our local schools, this apply to us because we as a community, we typically say 180 days, but what we're actually required to do is to have attendance in our home schools for the same number of days as our local school. So their waiver technically applies to us. And I do encourage you to go to our website for more information if you want to read a legal opinion about that. We're also required to give an equivalent education to our children. The state does not define what an equivalent education is, but it means that we need to show due diligence with what we're doing, but we get freedom to choose what curriculum and how we educate our children. And then also we do have a law on the books that says instruction must be done in English. That means that we are to instruct our children in the English language, and that is just an old law. It's on the books. It's really not that important, but it is out there, so we like to make sure we let you know about it. So if you're here, you may have questions because your child is currently enrolled in the public school. So one of the things that you need to do if your child is in the public school, and we recognize right now things are very complicated, but if you would like to withdraw your child from public school, you should write a letter to the school. We recommend sending it certified mail so that you have proof of when it was received. Some families have success going in and handing over a letter or sending an email. However, it's just best to do everything that you can to make sure that you have a record of removing your child so you do not run into any truancy issues. As a parent, you have a right to a copy of your student's records at any time under the FERPA laws. So you don't want to ask for the records to be transferred to you. It just creates a lot of confusion. But as the parent, you can absolutely ask for a copy. Now, if you have a high school student here in Indiana law does require an exit interview to be conducted with school personnel or the school principal. That is really to help figure out the difference between a student that is dropping out of high school and a family that is actually planning to continue their child's education. So there is a form provided by the Department of Education that they are required to fill out. In our state, we do have the option to report enrollment on the Indiana Department of Education's website. This is optional, and very often when you're removing your child from a public school, the school will push pretty hard to get that enrollment number, that homeschool verification number, for their paperwork and for their records. It is completely optional. That is what the law tells us. That is even what the Department of Education's website tells us. However, just because the schools are held accountable for where their student population goes when they leave their building, they're trying to complete their records. So very often they push very hard to get this number. They want to encourage families to register on the DOE's website, but it is completely optional. If you have questions about whether or not you should, feel free to give us a call. If you have any situation with extenuating circumstances, if you already have truancy issues or health issues, or perhaps you are in a divorce situation or whatever it might be, there are times when it is advisable to register, and we recommend you reach out to HSLDA in order to get an opinion. As a new family jumping into home education, we know that you have 100 questions, and you have another 100 questions that you don't even know. We know that getting started can be very challenging, from understanding homeschool curriculum, which is the tools that we use to teach our children, books, online courses, and more, whether it's about methodology and how you want to teach, or if it's about community and the people that you want to surround you. We know you have questions, and we know that you're in the right place. So this entire conference is full of information about curriculum and about methodology, and you have resources here at your fingertips to help you get started. When it comes to community, we want you to know that we are here to help. The IAHE is here to help you connect with your local community and with resources across the state. Our regional reps will help get you connected with local resources, help point you in the direction of great curriculum, and just answer any question that you might have. We also host the largest community for Indiana homeschoolers on Facebook. We have a special learners team. We have a website full of information. We typically have an annual convention that would have been here in March. And then we also have a homeschool day at the Capitol where we connect our local families with our legislators. We also want to make sure to let you know about the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. HSLDA is a national organization that helps to protect homeschoolers across the country and across the world. And we encourage you to go check out their website for more information. The IAHE is a membership organization, so to support homeschooling here in Indiana, we encourage you to consider how you might partner with us by joining. We are a nonprofit organization run by a volunteer team, and we are here for you, and this is one simple way that you can help keep Indiana homeschool strong. There is a lot of information here in this online event, a lot of information on our website, and a lot of information just in the last 10 minutes. If you have questions, we highly encourage you to reach out to us on our website, iahe.net.